Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're joining me today. This presentation is titled Pressure Canning From Intimidated to Informed. Its goal is to take the fear out of pressure canning by focusing on what really matters and understanding the food safety principles behind the process. Pressure canning can feel overwhelming at first, but with accurate information and a clear understanding of how and why it works, it becomes a safe and reliable way to preserve food at home. By the end of this presentation, you'll have a stronger understanding of pressure canning equipment, safety features, and best practices that support successful results. This presentation is part of a short educational series on pressure canning. Pressure canning isn't something to learn in just one sitting because each step builds on the next. To safely and confidently pressure can foods at home, it's important to understand why certain foods require pressure canning, how a pressure canner works, the complete process, and food safety best practices before moving on to recipes like soups. Each segment in this series focuses on one essential part of the process, and I encourage you to watch all segments in order to gain a complete understanding of pressure canning and to ensure safe, successful results. Let's get started. Before we dive further into pressure canning, let me introduce the team of University of California Cooperative Extension Master Food Preservers. Our mission is to keep Californians safe and well as they use culturally appropriate, research-based practices to safely preserve food in the home, reducing food waste, increasing food security, and providing engaging ways for Californians to explore healthy food. But a mission statement only matters if it shows up in real life, so here's how we make it tangible. We have a help desk for your questions that you can reach on our website. We frequently host virtual classes, in-person workshops, and demonstrations on various food preservation techniques and food safety. Today's class is part of that outreach. We have publications and online resources available. We teach best practices for ensuring the safety and quality of preserved foods. It is important to note that we do not endorse or recommend any specific brands or manufacturers of the products demonstrated or mentioned in our presentations. Our focus is purely on sharing unbiased, accurate information to help you preserve food safely and successfully. This presentation is divided into 4 short segments, and I really encourage you to watch them in order. Each part builds on the one before it, so by the end, everything will make sense and feel much less intimidating. Part 1 explains why pressure canning is necessary and which foods require it. We'll also talk about Clostridium botulinum and why understanding this risk is so important for safe home food preservation. In Part 2, we'll look at the different types of pressure canners available and review the accessories that help you can safely and confidently. Part 3 walks step by step through the pressure canning process, so you know exactly what to expect from start to finish. And finally, Part 4 ties everything together with key food safety reminders to help you preserve foods safely for your household. Let's get started with segment 1 of our presentation. Understanding why certain foods must be pressure canned is the foundation for every safe decision you'll make later in the process. Let's now take a look at why and what foods are pressure canned. There are 2 main methods of home canning: water bath or atmospheric steam canning, and pressure canning. Both are safe and effective methods for preserving food at home when used with the right kinds of foods. The difference lies in the types of foods each method is best suited for. Water bath or steam canning is used only for high-acid foods. These include most fruits, pickled vegetables, jams, jellies, and acidified tomatoes. To make tomatoes safe for this method, add bottled lemon juice, vinegar, or citric acid to increase their acidity. Boiling water or steam can reach a maximum temperature of 212 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to destroy most microorganisms that cause spoilage in high-acid foods. Pressure canning, on the other hand, is required for low-acid foods, such as vegetables, beans, soups, meats, poultry, fish, and seafood. A pressure canner reaches 240 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, much hotter than a boiling water or steam canner. This higher temperature is necessary to destroy Clostridium botulinum spores, which can survive boiling temperatures. The key point is this: choose the right method for your food type: water bath for high-acid foods, pressure canning for low-acid foods, to ensure both safety and quality in your home-preserved foods. When we talk about low-acid foods and home food preservation, we mean foods with a pH above 4.6. These foods do not have enough natural acid to stop the growth of harmful microorganisms, including Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that causes botulism. Examples of low-acid foods include vegetables that have not been acidified, legumes such as beans, meats, poultry, fish, and seafood, soups and soup stocks, tomatoes. Now, tomatoes are a special case. While many people think of them as acidic, their pH actually varies, and some varieties are low acid. For this reason, tomatoes are only safe for home canning if acid is added using a tested recipe that specifies 5% vinegar, bottled lemon juice, or citric acid from a reliable, science-based source such as the USDA or a university extension program. When canning low-acid foods, a pressure canner must be used to reach the high temperatures needed to destroy Clostridium botulinum spores and ensure safety. Canning low-acid foods requires extra care to ensure safety. You must always use a tested, science-based recipe and follow the procedures exactly as written. Low-acid foods need to reach an internal temperature of 240 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit to destroy Clostridium botulinum spores, the bacteria that can cause botulism. This high temperature can only be reached using a pressure canner. In addition to high heat, these foods must also be processed for the correct amount of time, which can range anywhere from 20 to 160 minutes, depending on the type of food, how it's packed, hot or raw pack, and the size of the jar. Following the correct time and temperature as specified in the science-based tested recipe is essential for safe preservation. Let me explain what Clostridium botulinum is and why we must know how to prevent the risk of botulism. Clostridium botulinum produces one of the deadliest known toxins, which causes botulism food poisoning. To put its potency into perspective, scientists estimate that just a tiny amount of pure toxin, on the order of a milligram, could be lethal to huge numbers of animals. This bacterium is naturally found in the environment. Its spores are widespread in soil, dust, and water, and they can also be present on raw fruits and vegetables, meat, and fish. When those spores get into food and the conditions are right, they can grow and produce toxin. Clostridium botulinum exists in two forms: vegetative cells, which are active and growing; spores, which are dormant, highly resistant to heat, and able to survive for long periods in soil, dust, and foods. Spores can survive in certain food conditions and may produce toxin if all of the following factors are present: moist food, low acid levels, temperatures between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 120 degrees Fahrenheit, low oxygen, under about 2%, which is exactly the environment inside a sealed jar of canned food. What makes botulism especially dangerous is that there are no reliable visible signs of contamination. In most cases, the food looks, smells, and tastes normal. You may not see bulging lids, cloudy liquid, or off odors, even if the food contains the toxin. That is why following safe, tested canning practices is critical, because there is no way to detect botulinum toxin by sight, smell, or taste. Proper processing is your only protection. Symptoms of botulism typically appear within 12 to 72 hours after consuming contaminated food. They may begin with digestive upset in some cases, blurred or double vision, difficulty swallowing, speaking, or breathing. As the toxin affects the nervous system, symptoms can progress rapidly and severely. Without treatment, botulism can lead to death by suffocation, as the muscles responsible for breathing become paralyzed. There is an antitoxin available, but even with medical care, recovery can be slow, and in some cases, permanent nerve damage may occur. This presentation isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to help you understand why following safe, tested procedures is so important. I'm in several Facebook food preservation groups, and I'll be honest, it worries me when I see so-called canning rebels sharing unsafe methods. Many people don't realize that these methods can be dangerous, even deadly. I sometimes call it playing botulism roulette. Preventing botulism in canned foods comes down to a few key rules. Always use tested recipes from trusted sources, such as land-grant universities, cooperative extension master food preserver programs, and the USDA. Never alter recipes by adding extra sugar or fat, using oversized food pieces, adding thickeners, pasta, or rice. Use a pressure canner for all low-acid foods, and make sure it's accurate and operating correctly. Adjust pressure if you live above sea level. Prepare food properly and process for the exact time the recipe calls for. Stick to the recommended canners and procedures, no shortcuts. These steps aren't about being overly cautious. They're about keeping your food safe, delicious, and worry-free. This concludes segment 1 of the pressure canning series. In the next segment, we'll explore pressure canner types and canner accessories, an essential step in understanding how pressure canning equipment works and how it supports safe food preservation. I encourage you to continue through the full series, as each segment builds on the last and helps you gain the knowledge and confidence needed to safely preserve foods at home. If you have questions along the way, we're here to help. Please reach out through our help desk using the QR code or website link shown on this slide.